Okay, here is my Ancheer bike that I got off eBay for I think it's like $570 now. You can get it off eBay. You can get it on Amazon for more. But if you look for the cheapest price, you can find it on eBay for $570, I think now. But I bought it, and one of the first things I did is this battery right here. I put this bigger battery on there. It's a 10 amp hour battery, because the other one had 8 amp hour, and it was $270 for it, and that battery was only $180 with a charger. So I bought a brand new battery. I bought 2 of those, and I sold the original one as a brand new battery. Got rid of it instantaneously because it doesn't work with the same one. So I sold that, and I put the back rack on there. Got that from Target, and I got the basket from Target too, as you could tell. Thank you, Target, for sponsoring that. I was kidding, but yeah. I got also fenders on the front and back, so it doesn't fling water up at you, which is kind of essential, you know, if you're riding in the rain. I put pedals on mine. One thing I did, because these screws came out of, these screws that hold this in on the inside wanted to come out, so I said, fuck it, I'm not going to fuck with it. I'm just put zip ties around it, and I never had a problem with it again, because the screws wanted to keep coming out. Now, I had my dad and my stepmom both got these bikes too after I bought this one. So we had 3 of these things, and theirs had problems with the disc brakes. The screws holding them in had just came out over time. I guess they weren't Loctited in by whoever put them together in the factory in China. Whatever. I haven't had the issue on mine, but we have had issues with these on my dad's. When I first rode it, I rode all throttle all the time, and I'm like 250 pounds. So this back motor back here, inside of it, there was a solder connection that had popped free. I saw a video on YouTube about that, and sure enough, that was the problem on his. And I fixed that and resoldered it back together. And just recently, I was going up a mountain. Yeah, going up a mountain. Don't go up mountains if you're really big and you don't want to pedal really, really hard. But I was going up a mountain, and all of a sudden my battery stopped working, and I figured out that my other battery that I got, like this one, was working once I got back and put it in there. And so I figured out ultimately that I had a bad solder joint inside my battery, and it ended up being 2 solder joints, and I just soldered them back together and I fixed the battery. So easy fixes on that. So, and it was down here in the base where it goes into, the main power wire was just, it came unsoldered, so it was an easy fix. But I think that's about the main fixes on these things. I had to tighten up the spokes on it when I first got it after riding it for a little bit. Checked all the spokes because they were making noise and stuff. Another thing I had to do this is normal on pretty much all bikes like this with this type of crank. So this little bolt right here on this left hand side happens with any bike. Any bike I've ever had like this with that type of crank style, cheap crank style. But I just took the screw out because it had Loctite on it but kept coming loose. Took it out, mixed up some JB weld, and put it all inside there and screwed it back in nice and tight, all the way tight, and it's never came loose again. So that seems to work. And you don't ever have the problem on this side. My chain guard broke over here. This chain guard, that was the plastic piece that was on there, it just broke off one day. One piece broke, and then the next piece broke off of it. So that's really not that big a deal. I had my seat post break, the original seat post on here, because I went off a curb or something, and I landed all my weight right down on the seat because my foot slipped off the pedal. And that's why I bought good pedals. So I put my $1,500 Specialized bike seat post on there. So I never had any problems past that. Because I don't even ride my Specialized bike anymore, because this is more fun. Because I like having power. I like having the electric power, and I only use my battery for going uphill. You know, there's no point in giving it any throttle going downhill, or, you know, and I rarely ever even give it full throttle, because you don't get anything extra from giving it just a little bit of throttle or giving it full throttle. So, but like I said, this battery's meant for up to 350 watt bikes, which is kind of pushing, I guess, for this motor, but it's able to do it just fine because it's a 10 amp hour. The original one's a 8 amp hour. So you get a little bit more, a little bit more oomph, and it's cheaper for the battery. So you can buy those on eBay. It's Xgo, yeah. But yeah, everything else has seemed to work really good on this bike. Like I said, the only problems I've had with stuff like, you know, tighten up the spokes, that crank post over there. I've had to, you know, you have to lube everything. Everything needs to be WD-40'd, like inside the hole down here underneath where the pedals are. There's a hole down underneath here. Not sure if you can see it, but that's where you can spray in. You can spray in WD-40, and it'll lubricate your entire crank. It's just like any other bike. But yeah, everything's really great on this thing. It does really good. Another thing, first thing you have to do is, after you ride for a little bit, you have to change your back tire, because it's gonna go bad. And this tire's already starting to go bad too, even though I just fucking changed it. But yeah, I not only did I change the back tire, but I put a heavier duty inner tube in the back too. And I left the front one alone, but that's why my valve isn't popping through so much. You know, the other one's much longer. It's not meant for that rim style. And these rims are really, really good because they're V-shaped rims, so they're really strong and not going to just bend on you one day when you make too sharp of a turn with too high a pressure in your tires. But yeah, another thing that I put on here is a seat cover. It says original seat, same exact original seat. Because the seat it works great. You know, I haven't had any issues. I bought custom seats before, and I've had brackets bend and shit. This one actually looks like it's holding up. It's bending a little bit, but it's not bad. But yeah, you know, I don't use this as my main vehicle. I have a car, and so I seen this guy online, and he's sold his, but yeah. I wouldn't do that because I have a car and I can carry my bike with me anywhere. I can have greenway trails everywhere, so it's fun to just ride around. And I got 2 batteries, so for me it was an essential thing to have 2 batteries, because I said, fuck, I'm not gonna deal with, you know, having to just guess how much battery. You know, it says 3 bars, but who knows how long that'll last. I just have 2 batteries. I've run one all the way down, and once it's dead, I could turn around, put the other one in, and run it all the way back. No issue. And because these batteries are cheaper, the other ones online are $270. Fuck that. This one was $185, $189 with the charger and everything. And it's a 10 amp hour instead of an 8 amp hour, so it's an upgrade. You get 2 amp hours more total, you know, for each battery. So that's 4 amp hours extra power just with having 2 batteries. Everything else on here is really good, and that's pretty much about it. That's about all I could say about this thing. As far as the issues that I've had with it was, you know, like I said, the brakes, some screws that came loose, but you know, that's just gonna happen. You gotta tighten shit up. But yeah, if you ever have any issues with like all of a sudden this thing right here, it'll be on, and it'll just turn off. All of a sudden you'll just be riding, it'll just die. It's probably back here in the back motor. They didn't solder the solder joints good enough, because these are all the solder joints are soldered by, you know, Chinese workers who are paid slave wages, and you know, they're probably all little kids. So yeah, another reason to vote for Yang 2020. But yeah, that's about it. if you're looking for a cheap electric bike and you want to just try one out, this is the one to get. This is the cheapest one. Get it off eBay. Don't buy it off Amazon. It's more expensive on Amazon. Now, granted, if you buy it off Amazon, you can always return it or bring it back or whatever. But, you know, because it's easier to do on there than it is on eBay. But I really suggest putting a basket on the back. This basket is just perfect. It's especially, you know, this Target basket. It's got this little tapered line so your ass does, you know, fits perfect, or your back fits right up against that perfectly when you're sitting on it. It doesn't get in your way or nothing. But yeah, and it don't cost you shit. You just got to go to Target and get one. I put over where it says electric bike right here, or electric vehicle. I just wrap that in electrical tape. I don't want to advertise that. Like, oh, it's electric. Look at me. Like, yeah, come fucking me, cops. No, I'm good. Everything else works on it. The only thing I wish it came stock with was be a rear brake or a tail light. You know, that would be the one thing that I would wish. But for the price, you get what you get. So that's that. Anyways, that's the Ancheer electric bike. It's great. It's a great buy. As long as you know how to fucking do basic shit, you know, basic work on shit. But yeah, if you don't, you can always get someone who does. But yeah, anyways, hope you all have a great day. Love you all. Bye.